It's midnight. A mother is on her knees, her hands trembling as they reach toward the sky, tears streaming down her face. Her little boy is in the hospital and the doctors have given up hope, but she's still praying, because what else can she do? Thousands of miles away, another mother is doing the same thing. She's praying too, she's crying too, and her child is also dying. So which one will God listen to? Or neither? If this question makes you uncomfortable, good. Because it should. Billions of people pray every day, in the mornings, in the evenings, before meals, and before bed. They close their eyes, raise their hands, and ask for things. And then life goes on, often exactly as it did before they prayed. But nobody says this out loud because prayer is sacred, and questioning it feels almost forbidden. So be honest with yourself. Does it really always work? Think about it. How many times have you prayed in your life? Hundreds, maybe thousands. How many of those prayers came true exactly as you wanted? And the ones that did, weren't they going to happen anyway? Imagine you're looking for a job. Every night you pray, God, give me a job. A month later you find one and you say, my prayer was answered. But what did you do that month? You sent resumes, went to interviews, made connections, and put in effort. So, was it prayer or was it you? Our brains look for patterns. You prayed, something happened, so it must be because of the prayer. But when a rooster crows and the sun rises, the sun didn't rise because of the rooster. People remember the hits and forget the misses. You pray 99 times and nothing happens. But the 100th time something does, and that's what you remember. See, prayer worked. The rest fade away. Psychologists call this confirmation bias. Belief feels safe and comforting, but comfort is not the same as changing reality. Then there's the clever defense. Prayers are always answered, but sometimes God says no because he knows what's best. Think about what that really means. Your child is dying and you're begging for their life. God says no and your child dies. Was that really what's best? By allowing your child to die, what favor did God do for you? Did it make you stronger, more faithful? But did your child have to die for you to learn that? If God is all-powerful, couldn't he teach you those lessons without killing your child? And if he can't, then he's not all-powerful. Do you see the problem? God knows best justifies every outcome. Prayer answered? Miracle. Prayer not answered? Wisdom. Either way, God wins. But with this logic, nothing can ever be wrong. Every pain becomes for your good. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every death becomes part of the plan. Studies show there's no meaningful difference between patients who are prayed for and those who aren't. Some even feel more stress when they know people are praying for them, thinking, everyone is praying and I'm still not better, it must be really bad. So why do people keep praying? Because prayer gives you something. It gives you relief. When you pray, you close your eyes, breathe, name your fears and hopes, and let go for a moment. That feels good. Meditation, breathing, journaling, and talking to a friend do the same thing. Prayer may simply be a psychological tool, a way of regulating your emotions. But when you're told God is listening and answering, what happens to the people who believe and still lose? They often blame themselves. My faith wasn't strong enough. I didn't pray enough. Prayer can bring comfort, but it can also bring guilt. But there's something even more disturbing I haven't mentioned yet. Something that reveals the real nature of prayer. And when you understand it, everything makes sense. If prayer really changed the external world, what would the world look like? Billions have prayed for peace, yet wars continue. Billions have prayed for an end to hunger, yet children still starve. Billions have prayed for diseases to disappear, yet cancer and malaria still kill. Science, on the other hand, eliminated smallpox, nearly ended polio, and dramatically increased human life. Humanity moved forward through action, not prayer. Yes, prayer gives hope. But is hope the same as changing reality? What's more loving for someone who is dying? Pray and a miracle will happen, or we'll do everything we can to help you and be with you. Prayer can also make people passive. I prayed, God will handle it, they think, and they wait. But problems are solved by people who act. An earthquake hits and social media fills with prayers, but the people who save lives are the ones digging through rubble, donating blood and building shelters. Real change requires real work. Prayer is easy because it costs you nothing. You close your eyes, you're done. You feel like you did something. But what actually changed? I once spoke to a man who prayed every day for 20 years for his depression to end. It never did. Then he started therapy and medication. Within 6 months, he was better. He still prays, but now he says, I pray because it calms me, not because it changes God's mind. And there are logical problems too. If God knows everything, why do you need to tell him what you need? If God is good, won't he do good anyway? If God has a perfect plan, how can you change it with a prayer? 2 students pray to pass the same exam, but only one can. Who does God choose? A family is trapped in a fire and all pray to be saved. One survives and calls it a miracle. What about the others who died? Were their prayers ignored? One life saved is a miracle. 5 lost are God's plan. What kind of logic is that? Maybe there is no direct link between prayer and outcomes. Life happens. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you're not. Sometimes science saves you, sometimes it can't. And maybe the hardest question of all, if God answers prayers, why does childhood cancer still exist? Why are innocent babies suffering every day while millions of parents pray for them? What prayer clearly changes is how you feel inside. If prayer gives you strength, maybe that strength was already within you. One day humanity might look at prayer the way it looks at old rituals it outgrew, and wonder what would have happened if it had acted instead of just hoping. So let me ask you, are your prayers really changing the world, or are they just changing how you feel about it? Have you ever had a prayer answered in a way that couldn't be explained by coincidence or your own effort? Be honest with yourself and tell me in the comments. I want to hear your real experiences, not what you think you should say, but what actually happened. Because the truth, whatever it is more valuable than comfortable lies.